Welcome to the Soulful Success by Design podcast. I'm Kendra Woods, your host, and a former corporate healthcare executive turned entrepreneur. After battling burnout, I discovered the magic of human design. As a 6'2" splenic projector, I am here to lead you on a journey of self-discovery, self-mastery, and unstoppable growth. So join me as we dive into the world of human design, mindset, energetics, and aligned success. We will talk about the highs and the lows of creating soulful and meaningful success in your life and business on your terms. Are you ready? Let's dive in. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Soulful Success by Design podcast. So we are moving through the Unstoppable by Design series, where I am unpacking each of the energy types in human design. So as I mentioned to you in the last episode, my intention with this series is to really help you create a strong foundation of the basics as it pertains to your type in human design, so that you have a place that's organized where you can come back and use these episodes as a resource for you to learn about your particular human design type, or to learn about maybe a family member's type, or to learn about your client's type. And so today, we're going to walk through what it means to be a manifestor within the human design system. So we're going to discuss your purpose, the challenges. I'm going to share with you some alignment strategies as well, things that you can begin to start playing with and start implementing in your day-to-day to begin your journey of alignment with human design. So if you are a manifestor, if you know a manifestor, please get comfortable, grab a pen and a piece of paper, and let's dive into this. Okay, so first, let's answer the question, how do I know if I'm a manifestor? And obviously, you can run your chart, of course, and it will tell you on the chart if you are a manifestor or not. But I also wanted to kind of get into the mechanics of this so that you would know what configuration creates the manifestor type in human design. So as a manifestor, you have an undefined sacral, just like a projector, just like a reflector. But what creates your energy frequency is the fact that you have a defined throat center that is connected to a motor. And so I want to remind you what all the motors are within the human design body graph. The motors are your will or heart center. Same thing, you'll hear it called one or the other, will or heart center. Your emotional solar plexus is a motor. Your root center is a motor. And your sacral center is a motor. So if you have any of those defined and connected to your throat center, then you are a manifestor. One caveat here, though, you will not ever have your sacral defined as a manifestor. So then what that means is your throat center is going to be defined through your emotional solar plexus, through your root center, or through the will/heart center. So if you see your chart and you look at your chart as a manifestor right now and see which motor your throat center is connected to, or if you have the chart of a client or a friend or whatnot, look at their charts and see, okay, what motor is their throat center defined through? So with this direct connection from the throat to a motor, this gives you the energy to start things, right? You as a manifestor have this initiating energy. And within human design, let me say this, the throat center is kind of like the town square, right? Like all the energy is trying to get to the throat center, because the throat center is all about manifestation. It's all about action, right? So with you having this motor defined directly to your throat center, as a manifestor, you are here to initiate. So you're here to initiate things such as conversations, such as businesses, etc., without waiting. So you make up 8% of the population, and you are that part of the population who are here to initiate and go do the thing, right? So when we hear someone say, oh, just go do it, just get out there and make it happen. Really, that is a manifestor type of thing to say, right? Because the rest of us who are not manifestors, we're not here to initiate. We're not here to go out there and just make it happen, right? But as a manifestor, you are here to initiate and initiate people into action, to initiate projects into action, to initiate movements. You're here to take, inspiration and transform it into something amazing that has a deep impact on people. Now, as a manifestor, you are pure, powerful energy. Manifestors, you have this powerful, potent energy. You have this direct connection that we say, like, to this, to the divine, to source, right? You have this internal, nonverbal, creative flow within you that is always there to be moving things forward, to be pushing energy out of you to initiate the world around you. Okay. So now, although you may have this tremendous, initiating energy, we got to remember that you do not have a defined sacral. So you cannot work in a sustainable fashion. So just like when we were talking about projectors, and I had a long conversation with you about how it's important as a projector to maintain, to have good energy management skills, it is also important for you as a manifestor to have very strong energy management skills. And we'll talk about this in a moment. So you are a powerful, powerful presence, and you have a powerful voice. You are literally here to be heard. Okay. So it's important for you to understand your energy, because your energy is so powerful. People feel it when you walk into a room, right? When a manifestor walks into a room, they don't have to say anything. You just feel their powerful presence in the room. And this can tend to make people feel uncomfortable, because just by the mechanics of your energy and by your aura, your energy is here to initiate people. Your energy is here to kind of, poke and provoke people into action. And if someone's not ready for that, right, or if someone feels that and it feels like pressure to them, then, they can feel uncomfortable. But it's important for you to understand that you're not meant to take that on. As a manifestor, when you walk into a room and you feel like, oh, what people, I can feel people are intimidated by me, or maybe I'm coming in too strong, or maybe I'm coming in too powerful, what you tend to do is you tend to dim your light and play small. But that is not what you're here to do as a manifestor, right? We need all of you manifestors out there in this world to really be in your power, to be comfortable in your power, to understand, how your power is designed to show up and work in this world, so that you can initiate change, right? So that you can bring new ideas and new thoughts and new perspectives and new ways of doing things in this world to life. So be in your power, and understand that if folks around you are uncomfortable with your power, that is not for you to take on, right? That is for them to work through, for them to figure out, okay, wait, why do I feel so uncomfortable in this, right? What am I being called to look at? Okay, that's for them to deal with. You are here to initiate, to be in your power, to be powerful, to be heard, to use your voice, to initiate. Okay. Now, this brings us to your aura, because each type has a different way in which their aura functions. And you as a manifestor, your aura is closed and repelling. And I know when you hear that, you may be thinking, oh, that does not sound nice. It doesn't sound good. Like, that sounds so, yucky. But your aura, for all types, actually is here to work for you, right? As a manifestor, you're not here to be told what to do, right? You're here to literally lead and initiate. So your aura needs to be closed and repelling, because you are meant to be pushing your energy out into the world and not receiving all the energy from the world. Because if you allow yourself to be, receptive, then you are dimming your power and not being in your power, the power of initiating, the power of going out there and making things happen, right? So your aura needs to be closed and repelling, so that you can actually show up in alignment to do what it is that you were meant to do. Okay. So let's talk about your strategy as a manifestor. Your strategy is to inform. And now this may feel very unnatural for you, because you are used to going at your own speedy pace. The energy of a manifestor is like a speeding, like bullet train. You are just, right? You're going at your own pace. you get that hit and you're ready to go. So this idea of informing can feel very unnatural for you, and it can feel like it's slowing you down. But I want to give you a new perspective on this, because it's not about the fact that, but informing people means, this is going to make me slow down, or this feels, like I'm trying to move at other people's pace instead of my own pace when I'm informing. It's not about that. As a manifestor, slowing down, this idea of informing actually allows you to remove resistance off your path, right? You're here to remove resistance off your path so that you can go at your own speed. So when you get that internal nonverbal creative, hit, you let people know what's about to happen and you move. Okay. So I invite you to look at your strategy as a way of clearing any resistance from your path. Because here's the thing, there are people all along your path who are hoping that they can jump in and ride along with you, and they want to be in your space. And when you just plow right past them and you're just, doing your own thing, what's going to happen? They're going to start coming at you like, well, hey, what are you doing? Why didn't you wait up for me? Why didn't you tell me? They're going to have all these questions for you. Well, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? And you know what happens then? That is what slows you down. And then you get knocked into your not self energy, which is anger. And you start feeling angry because you feel like people are getting in your way and not allowing you to do what it is that you need to do. So to mitigate that, your strategy is there for you. Okay. So you want to let people know the actions that you're about to take. Okay. Because, when you don't properly inform, you're going to feel angry because you're getting interrupted, and people around you may feel a little angry because they're like, why didn't, they tell me what they were going to do? So to remove this from your path, inform those around you before you speed off into action. And it's important to note that you're not informing as a way to ask for permission. Okay. No, you're not here to be asking anyone for permission. What you are doing is you're merely letting people know, the ones who will be affected by your actions, you're letting them know what is about to happen so that they can be prepared, so they don't present any form of resistance for you. Or if they do have questions, you can get that out of the way on the front end and then be about your own business by going about and doing your thing. Okay. So, you're not looking for people to tell you what to do or to try to talk you out of what you're doing. The actions and the steps that you are meant to take. And by informing, you're simply preparing the way for you and for others so that you can go out there and do the work that you are meant to do in the world. Okay. So practice informing. And also, I want to say this, our strategies in human design work both ways. So no matter what your type is, they work both ways. So since we're speaking in manifestors today, your strategy is to inform. Manifestors, you feel good as well when people inform you, when people come to you and say, oh, hey, by the way, this is what I'm about to do. Or, hey, by the way, this is where I'm about to go, or this is about to happen. That feels good to you as well. So as you are informing people, invite people to inform you, and that can actually bring great harmony into your relationships. You can use this in business, right? Informing your audience of what you're working on, what's about to happen, right? Informing your clients. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Here's what I'm going to walk you through. Here's what I'm going to help you with, right? It creates an opening for you. Creates an opening. Okay, so now that we have moved through the manifestor type and what that looks like, the mechanics of your energy, and we've talked about your strategy, I want to now move into what your role and purpose is. And I've kind of already have spoken to this in the beginning, but I want to reiterate this because you are here. Remember I said in the last episode, we're all here for a purpose, right? And we all have a role to play. When we don't understand our role, what happens is we begin to take on other roles that aren't meant for us. And that creates, in your case as a manifestor, can create anger. Okay. So understanding your role is important. So when I work with my clients around their particular human design, one of the things I'm helping them do is to, number one, understand what their role is here in this world. And if you are in relationship or you're working with clients, it's important for you to understand their role so that then you know where you fit in that particular relationship and how to be in that relationship. Okay. So like I said before, as a manifestor, you're here to initiate people into action and to initiate them onto their transformative journey. Okay. You are powerful, you're influential, and you're here to have a major impact on the world around you. You're here to speak and you're here to be heard. So it is very important for you as a manifestor to get really comfortable with speaking your truth, speaking on what you are seeing happening in the world, happening around you, the things that you're passionate about. You need to speak those and put it out there, right? There's a woman that I follow. We're friends on Facebook, and she is a manifestor. And I love, love, love reading what she has to write because, yeah, some of what she writes it is controversial. It is a little, can be seen as triggering. But because I understand her energy and how she is designed to show up, I understand that when she's sharing her truth, she is quite literally provoking people and initiating people into transformation, into change. So she's initiating people to look at themselves, right? While at the same time, sharing her journey and what she's moving through and how things are looking for her. So as we get into further discussions here on this podcast, we're going to be talking about deconditioning. And this is one of the areas as a manifestor that you want to work on deconditioning is getting over the fear of speaking your truth, right? Getting over this idea that trying to avoid confrontation, people pleasing, not wanting to rock the boat, right? That is an area where you'll want to work on and do some work on because we need you to speak your truth, right? To speak the truth of what you see going on around you and to initiate change in the world. You're here to lead. Okay. Now, sometimes you can be referred to as the lone wolf because you, of all the types, right, you are the most independent and the most capable of acting on your own, right? And why is this? Because you're not waiting, right? The extent of your waiting is you informing people. Outside of that, you're here to go, right? You're not like a generator who's waiting to respond. You're not like a projector who's waiting for an invitation. You're not like a reflector who is waiting a lunar cycle, right? No, you get that hit and you go. You get the hit, you inform, you go. Okay. So you are quite capable of just really acting independently. Now, with that being said, and we're about to get into your challenges, this can also be a challenge for you because although, yeah, you're here to lead and take action and, you like to work on your own and be this individual, it is still important for you to have people on your team in your world who can support you. Because remember, you have an undefined sacral, and with that undefined sacral comes the knowing that you've got to learn how to manage your energy. You do not have sustainable energy. So while you're here to make things happen and you can be this lone wolf, you need to have people around you that you can delegate to, that you can hand things off to, because you're just here to initiate, and then you need to hand it off and then move on to the next thing that you're here to initiate, right? Okay, so that was role and purpose. Now let's get into some of the challenges that you may face. And I have quite a few of these that I want to share with you just to pique your awareness around these and for you to begin looking at yourself and looking at how you're showing up and looking to see, okay, do I see this in myself? Am I struggling with this? Do I have a challenge with this? So the first one is energy management. And we've kind of hinted and spoke about this already, but as a manifestor, you have limited sustainable source of energy. Okay. So not as consistent as like a generator or a manifesting generator. So overexertion of trying to keep up with like those that have that defined sacral can lead to burnout and it can lead to health issues. So you really want to be mindful and tapping into when enough is enough. Okay. And taking your rest. prioritizing your rest. The next challenge is going to be is your not self theme, which is anger. Okay, so when your creative flow is interrupted, or when it doesn't necessarily go your way, or things don't go your way, anger is going to rise up within you. And as we all know, being in the energy of anger is not easy. So your challenge is in leaning in, or learning how to manage your anger and work with it. So lean into your anger. Don't act from your anger. Don't make decisions from your anger, but simply notice when you are feeling anger rise up, and have strategies in place to help you navigate the anger, to help you bring yourself back into regulation. Okay, maybe you need to go for a walk outside, or maybe you need to do some breath work, or maybe it's, journaling, or maybe it's taking a nap. Find the strategies that are going to work for you and do that, and learn how to really work with and manage your anger. The other challenge is independence and isolation. Okay, because as manifestors, you're often driven by a strong desire for independence and for autonomy. However, this can lead to a sense of isolation, okay? Because you may struggle to involve others in your plans. This is where that informing can feel like a struggle. And you also may have difficulty working with traditional structures. So listen, as a manifestor, you're not here again to be working in that traditional 9-to-5 system or structure. That is going to feel heavy for you, and that's going to feel like a lot for you. So being able to create this balance between finding a work structure that works for you, and also allowing yourself to have some support around you and some relationships around you, so that you're not just isolating yourself. Because when we are in isolation, we don't grow. And a manifestor in isolation is a manifestor who's not allowing themselves to be in their power. Okay. Communication, maybe another challenge is that you may see coming up. Okay. You are, as a manifestor, really focused on your own ideas and your own desires. And sometimes it can be hard for you to fully convey your intentions to others. And when that happens, it can lead to misunderstandings. It can lead to resistance. So within your relationships, if you're experiencing any resistance there, first look at, okay, what is the quality of the communication in this relationship? And when you look at that, and you look at, are there areas in how I'm communicating that I need to work on? Am I informing? Am I conveying my ideas? Am I sharing, and letting people know what the actions are that I'm going to take? Am I doing that? And if you're not doing that, then you get to step into doing that more so, right? And asking for what you need. Okay. Another challenge is initiation pressure. So there can be a sense of pressure to constantly initiate and make things happen. Yes, you're a manifestor. Yes, you're here to initiate, but you also do not want this to become something that is exhausting and that can lead you to burnout. While you are here to initiate, you still need to take breaks and allow yourself to rest. You're not here to be initiating and just, doing the thing all the live long day. You need to rest. Okay. Resistance from others may show up as a challenge for you. And again, we've already kind of talked about how you can help mitigate that resistance from others. Your strategy will support you in that by simply informing and sharing what it is that the actions you're going to be taking. And then the last thing around your challenges that I want to share is being able to strike a balance between informing and initiating. So you've got to find that balance between informing others about your plans and then taking independent action. And that can feel a little tricky again, because remember, it does not come natural to you for you to be initiating and letting people know your plans before you take action. So that's going to be a learning curve for you. But if you lean into it and just practice in small ways, it gets easier and easier, and you'll recognize that your path also will feel less resistant. All right. So those are some of the challenges that you may find that come up. So again, take an inventory. Where are you with that? We talked about energy management, anger, independence and isolation, communication challenges, feeling the pressure to initiate, and then balancing between informing and initiating. So within those, kind of assess yourself and see where you might want to do some further work or where you may want to get support in those areas, right? And I'll say this too, like be willing to ask the people around you where they may see your challenge. This is where having a coach or a mentor is so powerful because they can see some of your blind spots. They can see where maybe they can see what you can't see. And that can be something that is really powerful for you because then something that you weren't even aware of becomes now full on in your awareness. You can make a change and then you will see things begin to shift around you. Okay. All right. So last but not least, I want to share with you some manifestor alignment strategies. I'm going to share 5 of them with you. The first one, listen, I want you to go out there and embrace your role as an initiator. Recognize your role, right? Recognize that you're an initiator and a catalyst for change, and allow yourself to embrace this quality without feeling pressured to conform to others' expectations. And that is a big piece for manifestors. You're not here to conform to other people's expectations. None of us are, really, right? But speaking to manifestors specifically, you're here to initiate, you're here to strike, to be the catalyst for change. So let yourself do that and embrace it. Number 2, inform when necessary. Use your strategy. Start today by practicing and begin to see what happens, okay? When you do inform, it helps to build, trust and cooperation along your path. And remember, you're not seeking permission, but you're keeping others in the loop about your plans so that that resistance is not on your path. Honor your need for autonomy. Go ahead now and acknowledge and honor your need for independence and autonomy, okay? Stop forcing yourself to be in places where your autonomy is not honored, where you are not honoring your autonomy, where you're not, able to be independent. You've got to give that to yourself as a manifestor. So create a lifestyle that allows you to make decisions, to take actions in alignment with your desires. If there are situations or people or things in your life that aren't allowing you to fully initiate, and move forward with your desires, then you're holding yourself back and you're being held back, which means you're not fully in your power and in alignment with how you're designed to show up, okay? Manage your energy, pay attention to energy levels, and practice self-care to avoid burnout. You will often have like these big bursts of energy. So when you have that big burst of energy, go for it. Go out there and do your thing. But then recognize when it's time to throttle it back a little bit and get some rest so that you can avoid overexertion. And then lastly, you want to build supportive relationships. Okay. So cultivate relationships with individuals who appreciate your initiative and who can provide support, whether they're assisting you with logistics or offering you guidance when needed. But surround yourself with a network that allows you to harness your manifestor energy effectively, and they get it. Right? I love being in spaces. I mean, I'm not a manifestor, I am a projector, but when I'm in spaces where people understand my energy as a projector, it feels so good, right? It feels amazing and it feels supportive. And it's also why it's so important for us to get this information and this knowledge of human design out into the world for more people so that we can understand one another better, so that we can then show up and be better, be in more harmony in our relationships with one another. Okay. So these alignment strategies, choose one, begin to practice it today. I would love for you to let me know which alignment strategy you are going to begin to put into place. So if you're a manifestor and you have questions about what we discussed today, I want to invite you to shoot me a DM over on Instagram. I'm at Soulful Success by Design, and let me know, right? Is there something that you want more clarity around? Is there a question that popped up in your mind as you were listening to today's podcast episode? Leave me a message. And again, recognize this is just the tip of the iceberg, right? Like there's so many different layers to this human design journey. And I'm so excited to be here to kind of guide you and be your guide on this journey to help simplify this and bring human design into a practical, tangible, way for you. So if you have any friends that are manifestors, you have colleagues or clients who would benefit from hearing today's show, please share it with them. And last but not least, I want to thank you so much for listening, and stay tuned because I will be covering all the other types in future episodes. We still have the generator, manifesting generator, and reflector to move through. So those are coming up in future episodes. And for you today, I do have a free gift for you. I've got my Alignment by Design guidebook, and I created this guidebook to support you in creating authentic success and self-expression through helping you gain a deeper understanding of how you are designed. So in this guidebook, you'll find detailed information on your purpose by human design. You'll have an understanding of your internal power by type. And then I provide you with some beautiful soul-aligned journal prompts to support you in your alignment, okay? So I will leave the link for you in the show notes. Go right now and download that guidebook. Begin to answer the journal prompts and really tune into your energy. And also, I'll leave the link if you're wanting to dive deeper and get your own personalized reading. I do have spaces available for that. So I'll leave a link where you can book a human design reading as well. And again, thank you for listening. I would love it if you would leave us a review here on the podcast. Let us know how much you enjoyed this podcast. Leave a review. It helps to get this information and the message out there to a broader audience. And connect with me at Soulful Success by Design over on Instagram. Thank you for being here. Go out there, create success from your soul and on your terms.